So in the previous sections, we've done the live systems, we've done the ports, we've done the services, and we saw what they all look like under Wireshark. Now the next step in our process is enumeration. And enumeration is trying to extract all the information we can from the target. Now in Nmap, this is what we call the -A scan, and it takes quite a bit of time to actually run. So when you run it, it's going to take additional time. So what you're looking for in enumeration is, we know we've got the ports, we've got the services, we've got a pretty good idea of the operating system. But what we want to do is we want to look and see, can we determine what the actual, is there open shares? Is there open, the file system? Is it NFS, network file system in Unix? Those types of things. Are there things there that I can use to gain access? And that's what hacking's all about. So let's take a look at Nmap when we use this -A enumeration scan and what it looks like in Wireshark. So the first thing we're going to do is go into Wireshark and reset our display. It's always a good idea to reset your packet captures when you're testing this, so you get to see how it works on a clean slate. So we'll do that now. Always clear any filters you have left over and click on capture, restart. Now we got a clean slate other than the normal Windows noise traffic. So now what we want to do is we want to do that -A scan. Now, as I said, this will take some time. So we take out that there, and then we just hit -A for those two targets. And we'll watch it as it's occurring on Wireshark. And you'll start to see, once again, it starts out just like it did before. Even, gets our two targets, gets the MAC addresses, because all data is delivered to the MAC address, as you may remember. And then once it gets going, so some UDP information there, it will start running an entire series of different scripts. So that -A runs a bunch of different scripts. So now you're starting to see it. It's doing the 443, the HTTPS 80. There's a bunch of your resets. As we said, a dead giveaway of a port scan. So it's just continuing to extract data and information from the target. But the difference is now it's going to run what's called scripts in Nmap. So Nmap has all these different scripts. And I encourage you, if you're not familiar with Nmap, to actually play with it and work with it. You can run it. In this case, I've been running it on Windows on my Windows 10 machine. And it's also in the Kali Linux distribution. But you can run it anywhere you want to practice and learn your hacking skills. And that's what you do. You hone your hacking skills. Once you now have a foundation, when you've got this far into the Wireshark course, now you can actually apply what you've learned throughout the course to identify all these attacks and hacking techniques and perform them yourselves if you want to be an actual professional security tester like I am or something like that. So as you go through, we start seeing here in this case, you see it's doing a pass IE user. So if I right click that for the FTP, follow the stream, now I see it's actually using anonymous. It's verifying that the VSFTP daemon actually allowed the anonymous password. So it actually allowed, but then when it tried to do another command, it actually didn't actually allow it, where it says illegal port command and child died. Right. So these are the things you're going to observe when you're carrying out different hacks, or somebody's carrying out different hacks against you. We're just following this same sequence of events that a hacker would typically do, or a pen tester, if they're targeting your organization. And we continue to see lots and lots of data coming, because that's what the -A scan. In fact, the rumor is the -A scan has everything in it but the kitchen sink. That's coming in the next release. So Gordon Theodore Leone, who created Nmap, continues to add more and more features to it, where it's typically a network mapper, but now it'll even do some vulnerability checks for you using the scripts and those types of things. So now if we come back over here to our Nmap scan, we have a lot of data. And that data is telling us more about our machines. So now when you start looking at it, look at everything I have now. It's telling me, in this case, Samba 3.x, 4.x, that type of stuff. So it's giving me a lot more information. The Apache 2.2.8, the ISC bind, for those who don't know, the Berkeley Internet Name Domain, that's our DNS service. It's actually running on TCP 53 there, 9.4.2. It's also telling you that the ciphers allowed were SSL2. That's not a good thing. So all this data was extracted because the -A did more scripts. It ran more scripts to pick this up. So now you got the Samba here. We got a Metasploitable root shell, and the box is the Metasploitable machine. So that's just because it's deliberately vulnerable. So you see we have a lot of database here. We have a lot of data for our database. We have MySQL 5.0, a lot of different things. VNC protocol. All right. X11 open, but you can't access it. Apache JServer protocol. You get the idea. Now we come down to the next machine, right? So that's the Metasploitable. So we'll go back up to the other machine, 200 machine. We see it's the OWASP Broken Web Application Virtual Machine. So that's the machine that we're using here. Great actual training virtual machine for you. And you see you got Apache Tomcat Air, you got a Coyote, and you've got a lot of different things. So we've got a lot of information from the actual box. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here, is get information. All right, so now let's go take one more look at Wireshark. And a lot of data is in here, but remember our filters. So we just do flags.push equals 1, and we know these are the only packets that had data. And as I've said before, I just like looking in the bottom window. You can do it either way you want. And I just start going through here and seeing if there's anything in that bottom window that I want to take a closer look at. And I already looked at the IE user with you, so I won't look at that. 200 OK for web stuff. That's pretty good. So I'll right-click that, and I'll follow TCP stream. And I see I got Apache Coyote 1.1 and those types of things. So this is the same process we've continued throughout. I just wanted to actually run the attack step, since a lot of people wanted to see more of the hack like a pro type stuff. But hacking is such a broad general term, we won't get into the concept. But hacking network packets is also a form of hacking, which is using Wireshark. So now that we've looked at this, let's go look at the next step. And we'll do that in the next clip.